Hey gang, Rosa here for Carolyn's Musings. Welcome. Today's tutorial is a collaboration which is hosted by our very own Miss Carolyn, and it features her very gorgeous Christmas garden kits. There are 4 kits in this stunning medley. Christmas Garden Junk Journal Kit, Christmas Garden Writing Papers, Christmas Garden Paper Pack, and Christmas Garden Mini Inserts. I mainly use the Junk Journal Kit, but there's a potpourri of stuff incorporated from all the other kits. And a huge thank you to Miss Carolyn for inviting me to be a part of this collab. It is truly an honor, and it has been so much fun. It has been so much fun. So in this tutorial, I will show you how to turn a very simple cover into a folio with lots of flips. I love flips. Miss Carolyn knows I love flips. I will try to provide the measurements in the description box below so that they're all in one place. And I want to mention on a side note that my papers print borderless. This is what I mean by borderless, that I don't have white margins to trim. So I take full advantage of the whole paper. So for those of you that need to trim the white edges, you may need to adjust your measurements, okay? So let me do a quick flip through of this gorgeous folio, if I say so myself. So what I did is I stitched pretty much all the panels, and so I used a little bit of ribbon and stayed away kind of like from the lace and let the stitching speak for itself. And I did not commit to these elements here. I just put them there so that makes the folio prettier, but I wasn't ready to commit yet. So I'll put these aside. I have a ribbon closure. And this thing is so packed. I could not stop putting stuff in it. So this is the front. Oops, sorry. This is the front. And you can see what I mean by the stitching. And it's like a wraparound closure. The back, this is an acetate pocket. And it has, oh, I forgot the tabs. There's 2 pockets here. And we open it. And we open it. So let's start with this. I call this the right side and the left side. So on the right side, these components are part of the kit, and I cut them as they are, and I incorporated them into flips. So here's a tag, flip this way, a tag. So what I did with these is I printed these twice, and I'll explain it in the video, and sewed them together so that I have one pocket here, one pocket here, one pocket here. This is a pocket that's included in the kit. And here's a tag, and these little pockets are included in the kit. And you see a little zigzag there, tag and tag. And then we move on to the left side. I glued a poinsettia, layered it on top. Here, the light fixture here, I printed it twice and cut it, and then glued here and here so that I could make a tuck spot. And then we open this way, and here we have a pocket and some tags. I'm gonna forget where all these go. and flip this way, and we have a pocket in here, and this is a fussy cut bird, and I made it into a tuck spot, and here is a pocket and some tags. I almost didn't want to put anything on these panels because they're so pretty. So here we have this was a left flip. This is a top flip. So here's some tags. Here's a little pocket with a tag in it. And this flips up. And I got, I think this is supposed to be in like a pocket, but I separated it and made it into a long pocket and some tags in there. And then this is the right flip. So here we have a pocket, a tuck spot. I didn't put anything on there. And then this flips this way. I'm going to talk to you about this. This is so cool. I'll talk to you about that in a second. And then I did a little envelope here, little hidden spot with some little tags in there. And what I want to mention to you guys is that is not a brad. Is that what it's called, a brad? That's not a brad. Look at smooth in the front, smooth in the back. It's a rivet. I thought I have rivets, and I'm like, I wonder if that'll work or will it be bulky? So I bought these at Hobby Lobby, and it looked kind of long, and I've never used rivets. Oh, I take that back. I did use them. I used big ones when I make purses, so it's been a long time. So I found these on Amazon that are smaller, and so I thought, let me try it out. So I put the rivet, snapped it, and then took my little hammer and tap, and I mean, look how flat that is. Is that not cool? I know, little things that amuse us. I thought it was cool. Okay, so I guess that's all the flip through. So without further ado, let's get busy. So here's my folio in a whole bunch of pieces. I wasn't sure how I was going to go through all the elements for you, so I will do my best. I will also post measurements either on the screen or in the description box below. So let's try to go in order. I'm gonna create ultimately 3, but for the sake of time, we will go through 1, and you can decorate it as you wish. I'm gonna give you some measurements on how to add flips and flops and here and there, and I will also try to describe some of the elements that I did as I winged through this. So anyway, so we have don't let this cover fool you. So this is the cover. It looks simple, and a closure flap. And so the cover is the straight up full measurement of a 8.5 by 11. I am using 110-pound Kraft cardstock, and it actually feels heavier than our regular white cardstock that's 110 pounds. I mean, it's like really sturdy. So it's 11 this way and 8.5 this way. And I did not write where you're gonna score. So let me give you that real quick. You're going to score at 5 1/4 and 5 3/4, and that should give you, you know, the same space on both front and back panels. Sorry about that. And your closure flap, you need a piece that's 4 inches wide by 8.5 inches high. And you're going to score at 3 inches and 3.5 inches. And to minimize confusion for me, I rounded off this edge so that I know which is the front outside and the front inside. Okay. All right, let me move these aside. And so to better explain what goes where, I'm going to open my folio, and this is the outside. Okay, you're gonna need 2 pieces for the outside. This is the front, and this is the back. And don't worry, I'll talk you through this adorable pocket. And it's cute, it's acetate. So these pieces measure 5 inches wide by 8 1/4 inches high. So you will need 2. Oh, and I sewed around the edges, and I'm gonna plug in a video that will show you how I did it. For those of you that are curious about the stitch that I'm using, it's not quite a zigzag. It's a utility stitch. I believe it's used for gathering, shearing fabric, but it comes out as a beautiful decorative stitch. So I have a Bernina B570 Quilters Edition. I'm using stitch number 12. The default setting is 5.5 width and stitch, but I down the number to 5.0, and the stitch length is 0.70. That's the default. And let's see if you can see the stitch. It's not quite like a zigzag. And so also I am using 12 weight cotton thread on the top, and 50 weight Orfill in the bobbin, and I'm using jeans denim needle. You can see the info. Because the 12 weight thread is thicker than your normal thread, so we need a bigger eye in our needle, bigger needle. Okay, so let's see if I can pop you here and show you a little bit of stitching. So when I stitch on paper, I will look for a busy area and somewhere where I can start, that when you start and end your stitches is not going to be crazy visible. If it's a like true junk journal, it doesn't matter, because I am doing a clean stitching around all the panels. Then to me it matters, but otherwise it really doesn't. So I'm just going to select any old spot here that's got a lot of print. I have my needle in a downward position because it will help me when I go to turn the paper in the corners. And I am guiding the paper to the inside of my foot. This leg right here, I'm guiding the paper to the inside of the foot. All right, and just stitch. to the corner, I slow down, and I want to end with my needle in the down position on the outside of the paper, because that way I can easily turn my paper and keep going. And that's all there is to it. Be mindful that paper releases a lot of fibers, so keep your machine well maintained, clean. If you're good to her, she will be good to you. Hope that was helpful. Okay, and you're gonna need a spine, and this measures just 3/8 shy of a quarter, not less than a quarter, by 8 1/4. What you want to make sure is that it's inside your score marks, and this is what the outside will look like. Okay, moving along. Now we will go to the we'll go to the inside in just a sec. So this is the outside of your closure flap, and you will cut a piece that is 2 3/4 inches wide by 8 1/4 inches high. And I rounded the corners to match this right here, and this will go here. You will also need a spine. Same principle as the one for the outside cover. You just want to make sure that it's inside the perimeters of your score marks, and 8 1/4 inches high. Yep, just like that. And this is your glue tab. Then we will flip it to the inside, and you will need a spine for it right here, and the same thing, the same panel size for the inside, 2 3/4 wide by 8 1/4 high, and this will go right here. Okay, and for the inside, we're back to the inside of our cover. You will need 2 panels, one for the right side, one for the left side. Again, 5 inches wide by 8 1/4 inches high. These will go here. And also you will need a spine. So these are called matting. I forgot to mention. And I've printed, I always forget to say, this is 110-pound cardstock. I just seem to be print everything in 110-pound cardstock. All right, so that's your inside. Now for the flippies, for the right side, this side, what I did was, where's my printout? Sorry, guys. Okay, so this, I printed it twice, and what I did was glued, or actually I sewed, but before I sewed the pockets together, I sewed this onto this. In other words, I sewed this onto this, and I did 2 of them. And then I sewed them together so that it's the same on the front and the back. And then on the glue tab, I scored 1/8 of an inch away to give me just a bit of a spine, because all this stitching created bulk. So by adding that little spine, it gives me room not only to accommodate the stitching, but also this other flip. Okay, so this would go here, and it'll flip like this, and this will flip like, like that. And this is straightforward, just as it is on the kit. This is from a one of the digitals and I cut it down to fit in the pocket. It's so cute. I meant to sew a zigzag around the oval and I forgot, but now it's closed, so I can't do it. All right, so that and that goes together. And for the left side, I got a whole bunch of elements here. So let's see which goes first. Okay, so this one is, I'll refer to as the right side flip. Right flap, right flap, right flip. So this measures 5.5 wide by 6 high, and you're gonna score at 4 7/8 and 5. Again, to accommodate the stitching, or you know, if you want to add just some things in there. And for the mattings, I cut 2. This must have been something else I was cutting and I didn't use it, and then I cut it for this. But just to make sure, four and 5/8 by 5 3/4. And this one is 4 3/4 by 5 3/4. Are they the same? Okay. So this, let's do 4 3/4 by, what did I say? 5 3/4. All right, so use that measurement. Basically what you're doing is you're cutting your pieces so that you have 1/8 of an inch margin all the way around, so that if you do it this way, it should be 1/4 of an inch, if it makes it easier than trying to figure out what 1/8 of an inch is all the way around. Okay, so this one goes on the inside here, this one goes on the outside, and this will go like this. Okay, and the next one is actually an envelope, and it's a Kraft envelope. It had little flaps here and I cut them off. And what I'm going to do with this one, this is 4 1/4 by 5 3/4. Again, just, you know, cut a schmid so that you have margin around if you need to know. It's 4 1/8 by 5 1/2. And then what I did for the back is I cut a mat for right here, and then this piece I cut longer just inside the score mark there from the flap, but a hair longer so that you don't have issues putting stuff in the envelope. And what I was thinking was, see, before you glue all these, you take advantage of all these mats, because then you can put flaps, you know, hide the flaps in there. So then this will become part of this flip. Hope I'm not confusing you there. Okay, so the next flip is a top flip. So this one will go here and flip up. And this one measures 4 7/8 inches wide by 7 1/2 inches high. And you're going to turn it this way, and you're going to score at 1/2 inch and 3/4 of an inch. So I've added a bigger spine because of all these elements, to accommodate all those elements. and I didn't realize that I had written here after I cut it and everything, so it may show when I put, yeah, I think it will. When I put this on here, it's going to show, but it's okay. It'll only be a little, see, it'll only be a little bit. And so for the mats, you'll need 4 5/8 by 6 1/2. You'll need one for the outside and one for the inside. And because this is so big, not so big, but you know, if you want to cover it, you can. So just, you know, cut a strip for your spine. All right, so this will flip this way, and one last flip, and this one is a wider spine so that it accommodates all of that. So this will be your left side flip, left flip, and that one measures 5 7/8 inches wide by 8 1/4 inches high, and you're going to score at 1/2 inch and 7/8 of an inch. Okay, and then for your mats, you will need one for the outside, one for the inside, and it'll be 4 3/4 of an inch wide by 8 inches high. And you will need a piece for your spine, same height as your mats, and less than 1/4, which this looks a little big. Okay, and you need a spine cover also for the inside. That's, it'll be right here. This will go right here. Okay, and I think that's all of the elements. Yep, that's all the elements. I'll be right back. Okay, so I took the liberty of gluing the mattings to the base panels. I keep calling them matting. And there were some things along the way that I discovered, and so I will point them out to you as I go. So one of the things, I didn't know what I was going to do for closure. Well, I thought I wanted to do magnets, but then I wasn't sure about it. So I decided to go with like maybe a tie. And so you don't have this piece. I didn't give this to you before. So for the folio closure, this is a pocket that was included in the kit. And it's cut exactly how it is in the kit. It's a small pocket and pocket flap, not sure, but this part right here measures 3 1/4 inches wide by 3 inches high. And the reason I extended that part right there is because I'm going to put this like so. And when I put the inside panel, it will cover it, but I also figured it would give it, you know, some stability. So that's my reasoning behind it. Whether it'll work or not, I don't know, but there you go. All right, and so now that I showed you this part, what I did was used my center finding ruler, and because this measures 8 1/2, I put this at 4 1/4, 4 1/4, and there's my center. So I marked the center. Careful not to go out here into your margin or it'll show, but if you use pencil you can erase it. And then I extend the line, and same thing on here. I found this measures 3 inches, so 1 1/2, 1 1/2, center point, so that now when I glue this, I can match it to my center lines. And I know how far to go in because this bumps into this cardstock. So let's glue that in place. Match my center lines, and I can feel it bump. A bump. Press in place. I forgot to mention that I also added an eyelet. Not a regular one. This one, it's like a flower. Found them on Amazon. Pretty cool. Different. Okay. So now I can glue the inside panel. And then I'm going to glue the flap, the closure flap, to the inside of the folio. It's so pretty. I love this kit. It's so nice. The images, the digitals, they're just so pretty. All right. So, and also all these little spines had support, rigidity to your folio. All right, so that's in place. So now I'm going to grab the cover, since we're ready to glue this. What I want to do is glue it to the inside so that I don't see these glue tabs on the outside, even though we're going to cover it. And to make it easier, I'm going to flip this over, and I'm going to add glue right here. Yeek. And then this, we'll put the outside cover on top of here. It'll be easier to match up rather than doing it the other way. Okay, so butt it up to your score mark, but don't go past it. Look how pretty that looks, even though it's upside down. All right. Make sure I don't have glue seepage. Okay, so now we are ready for the inside panels. So in case I didn't show you, this is these are the outside panels, and the spine here, and of course the closure flap. We just glued our closure, folio closure. And so this is the left panel, and remember it has all those little flips that go with it. So I'm going to start with this one, the right one, because it's easier. And I've already glued the flips that I mentioned, this part of the kit, and all I did was glue it to the back. And so now I can glue the whole panel to the folio, like so. So let's do that. This has been so much fun. I really enjoyed doing this. And, you know, it gets us out of our element. Like, it gets my creative juices going, and sometimes too much. And sometimes I get overzealous. But yeah, I just love a challenge. Okay, so where am I? All right. So, and remember we added that 1/8 of an inch hinge there, not hinge, spine to accommodate for the bulk. Trying to make sure that this stays down because of the threads. The stitching is heavy. I'll make sure that they stay down. Okay, so come on. Okay, so for the left side, we've got all these flippy doodads. So let's start with, remember we have a right, a top, and a left. So I'm going to start with the right, and because we're gluing it to the panel, before we glue it to the base, I'm going to move this out of the way for a minute. Okay, so I didn't glue the envelope because I wanted to show you. Okay, so this is the envelope. I've already glued the little panels on it. And remember, has an 1/8 of an inch spine to accommodate the bulk. And this is the front. This is the back. And before I glue this panel onto the base, I'm going to do it this way so it's easier. So this is the front. Okay, this is our back panel. This is our envelope. I'm going to take the flap of the envelope and put it in between the back panel. See it? Okay, so now I'm going to turn it. And so I want to glue this on here first. Yes, OCD's kicking in. Oh, goodness. All right, so apply glue to the envelope flap. Oh, I keep putting that opposite of me. And before I firmly press, I want to make sure that we are up to the score line, but not past it. So here's pocket. This flips like that. This is the back. Remember, this is going to get glued to the right side of our panel, and this will open this way. So now we can glue the panel that goes there. Okay, leaving a margin, even margin all the way around. Which I'm not doing. I was pinching it. Okay. Open this up so I can. Okay, so our right side, oh, this way. So our right panel is ready to be glued. You put it anywhere you want. Or if I want it lower. I guess it don't matter because this one will cover. Let's put it down there. All right, so I'm going to flip it, put glue in the, I think on your measurements, I added a bigger glue tab because this one's so small. Let me flip this because too many flippies, you guys. Yeah, this glue tab needs to be larger, but I believe I added to your measurements. All right, so up to the score line, but not past, because you won't be able to flip it. Got glue everywhere. I need a new t-shirt. A new glue t-shirt. Make sure that's in place because it's so small it was sliding. Okay. So there's that. So this flips out, this flips out. Okay, so I'm gonna put this out of our way so we can work on the top flap. So I guess this has enough room for us to do it. Here you could add pockets, you could add a belly band, you know, what you guys knock yourself out, do whatever you can think of and put in there. I just want to show you that sometimes before you glue panels down, you know, it's cool to add flips. All right, so I'm gonna center this like so. Okay, I don't want to confuse you. So our base, our top flap, and we're going to glue this part right here like so. Okay. Remember, you have a spine, so don't go into your spine. Your little spine right here. So now we're gonna butt this up to the score line, center it, the glue comes up through the holes that the needle punches. Okay. Okay, top flap in place. So far we've got up, over, over. How cool is that? And then our left flap. I did not glue this because when I showed you measurements, mine said top flap. And top flap was this. So I was like, wait, this doesn't fit the top flap. But it was with the left flap. So I changed it. So I'm sure you'll notice that it's not for that. So anyway, it's left flap 4 3/4 by 8. This is the inside. But I decided, guess what? I want to add another flip. I didn't put the mattings on yet, but before I glued the panel, I wanted to add a flip. All right, so the mattings for this is the same as we did for the other envelope. So, and because this one doesn't have heavy stitching, I don't think I'll need a spine on there. Okay, so I'm gonna flip this, add glue to the envelope flap, press in place. And now we can glue it to the inside here. I'm sorry, I get quiet. You think that putting glue is such a concentration, takes such concentration. All right, and center it in your panel. I'm sorry, on your base. Okay, so I'll go back later and, well, anyway, I think in the flip through, you'll see that I've taken care of that. Okay, so now we need to glue this to the back of our panel. Okay. So I'm going to add glue here. I'm not sure which is the easiest way to glue it, but I think button it on top here is probably easiest. And remember, up to but not past your score line. Getting big, it's getting big. Okay, so now our left panel unit is ready to go in our folio. Put a little bit of glue here. All right, so here we go. I will put glue in between just to make sure I capture it. All these glue tabs. And I didn't mention earlier that while I was away and glued everything down, I put the cover, the base, under cutting board. I do that to flatten out my panels. Make sure this is going to close properly. And burnish the glue, especially where the tabs were lifting a little bit. I put extra glue in there. Make sure that when I do this, it'll capture it. And because of the stitching, the middle part probably lifts near here, you know, around the perimeter, but it's okay. As long as your edges are glued down, then you should be good. Okay, I think that'll do her. And yeah, so look at that. Isn't that adorable? Oh, you guys, I forgot about the pocket. So for the acetate pocket, here are the measurements. So what I did was, this was a transparency that has a fold in it, and I took advantage of the fold, and I cut this where it's double page 4x7, and then I took the one page and cut it down to 3 1/4 inches. That way it'd be easier to, here, I'll show you. There's the one pocket, and I need to add tabs to these. And there's the other pocket. So this one is 3 1/4 inches, and then this one is 4 inches. And then these strips right here are 1 inch, you know, wide by 7 inches. I scored it down the middle lengthwise and folded it. And what I did was, trying to grab a piece of paper here. Trying to mimic the strip, but you probably get the idea of what I did. So I folded the strip in half, and so then you straddle it over the acetate and then stitched, you know, down each panel or down each strip. And that's how I did that. I just, and actually that as even after I started doing this whole folio thing, I don't even remember how it came to me, but I was like, hey, that's cool. And I love her there. She's just so precious. I love her. So yeah, I need to add tabs to these so I can pull them out easier. But yeah, that's how I did the acetate pocket. So there you have it. So then what you do is just, you know, I don't have any. Let me see if I have any. Okay, so I'm going to use this. It's like super long, but I don't know how much I need. So you can thread it through the hole. I can't remember if it's back to front or front to back. I always have to redo it because I can never remember. Open this up, thread your tails through the loop, gently, ever so gently. Tug your tails, and you can, you know, wrap around. And tie to the front, however you want to do it. Sky's the limit. I give you the skeleton, and you guys get creative. Anyway, so thank you for playing along with me, and I hope you enjoyed that tutorial and that you helped you one way or the other. And God bless. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.